Everybody knows it. Webinars are essential to business success in this day and in this age, which are basically the same things, but they're slightly different because one is just a small amount of time and one is a large amount of time. But one thing that isn't a large amount of time is this episode where I give you so much value as far as what a sticky webinar is and how it can make your business explode. Literally. So this is a sneak peek of the Brad Johnson Show course. It is a video course, and you need to go get it. Get the whole thing. This is only going to be part of the episode, so you don't even get the whole episode, and you don't get the awesomeness that is being able to look at me. James is there too, which that's a whole other issue in and of itself. But there wasn't much we could do about it. So yeah, you need to go get the video course and enjoy the whole thing of this because I'm only giving you part of it. It's a sneak preview. That's what it is. So if you want the whole thing, just go to the show notes of this podcast and you can get the course right there. Or that's probably the easiest way to do it. Or get in touch with me, bradjohnsonshow at gmail.com. Yes, still haven't gotten that changed. Anyway, so enjoy this little sneak preview of the Brad Johnson course.
This is the Brad Johnson Show course, giving you the keys to success. Win more, lose less. And now, Brad Johnson.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Brad Johnson course. I'm your host, Brad Johnson. Of course, this is a course. Of course. And this is my host. This is my assistant to the host, James Kirk.
Could be the host if you want.
No, that's not. That was a slip of the tongue, an unfortunate mistake.
Right.
Assistant to the host, James Kirkland. Welcome to episode 7. We are cruising right along. So happy to be here with you, and more importantly, you here with me. We're on to the 7th key to the door that is going to open and let you into where success lives and breathes and is. And this is, what are sticky webinars, and how can they transform your business? Now, the concept of webinars has been around for a little bit, but people are doing them wrong. I think we've established that fact.
As always, people are not doing things as they should be done, and that's why we're here making this course.
That's why but mostly I am here to do this course and help you people figure out how to do a webinar properly and correctly and not the wrong way, because so many people do them wrong. I was just on one the other day, and it was, I was just testing it out, market research and stuff. It was, about making money online or some sort of thing like that. And so I was just like, yeah, I'll check it out. And the guy, the sound quality was bad. He was sitting on an ugly couch. I mean, it was just everything. I mean, his hair was not on point at all.
Well, you said he was drinking out of a plastic water bottle.
Yeah, and that. Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
I nearly shut it off right then just because of that. So all those little things that add up to a horrible webinar are what you want to avoid and what I'm going to help you avoid with this lesson here today. We're making our way down or up that row of locks and putting all the keys in.
But in the correct order.
So that's why we're on number 7, which came after the number that we did last time. So we're talking about webinars. For those of you who don't know what a webinar is, basically a webinar is...
it's an R that's on the web.
What is an R?
Well, that's what my notes say.
Okay, so a webinar is basically a seminar, which is actually a word that is on the web. That's the etymology root word of that. So if you can figure out how to do webinars right, like Winnerly, like I do, then the world is your oyster.
Or
I don't know why you'd want an oyster necessarily. But if you had it, then you could use it for eating food. All right, so let's just jump right into these. We got 37 tips for successful webinars. So we're going to be hitting these hard and fast and hard. So let's do this. All right. So a webinar is all about lead generation for your business. So basically what you're trying to do with a webinar is provide a little taste of value and get people to invest in buying your course, buying your product, buying your coaching services, whatever it may be. So that's what a webinar is. It's basically a lead gen strategy.
Which may be kind of too much to handle for some people, even at this stage. So if you don't understand that, you might want to start over. the course over.
Yeah.
Buy it again.
Yeah,
Start over.
repurchase the course and start from the beginning, because by now you should be ready for this, okay? If you're not, then obviously you're not ready for what we're going to be throwing at you here today. And don't want you to have a brain attack, because that is very dangerous. So let us run through some of these tips and give you an idea. And if we have time, we have a little bonus segment at the end where we're going to talk about how to give a successful webinar. So as far as a presenter side of things. So we've got the actual putting on the webinar, which is what we're going to hit right now. And then we're going to get into some tips for presenting. So first of all, you have to
know your attendees.
Know your attendees personally.
But not too well.
But all of them you should know.
But not so much that
so
you know
don't,
them too well.
What I'm saying here is you don't want random strangers. You should at least be Facebook friends with everyone who's on your webinar.
There could be a strategy for that, though. Having random strangers to see if you can get them to give you any good ideas. Or...
No. You just want people that you know. You got to know your attendees. Okay, it's right here.
Okay,
it's written down.
All right.
Okay,
we'll go with that.
So that's the first tip, is you want to know your attendees. So, and if you don't know them and they're trying to be an attendee, get to know them. Okay, this is worth a little 10-minute phone call. Okay, make sure that you're not using minutes though, because if you have a limited number of minutes, you'll run out really fast. Because you need at least 1,200 people on your webinar in order for it to be effective. If you get less than that, you just throw in the towel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second is going to be think about visual branding.
Okay. So this has to do with your brand, obviously, and the visual side of your brand. So many brands have multiple sides. So one side is fluffy because it's the feeling side. The other one smells good because that's the smelling side. The other one tastes good because that's the tasting side. And the other one looks good because that's the visual side. So all 5 senses working together to build a brand.
But the visual side is on the top because it's most obvious.
No, it's on the front because that's where your eyes are.
But if you're looking from above, then you want the visuals to be on top.
But that is bad placement of your brand, because it needs to be somewhere where your eyes are presented with it without having to look down at all.
Well,
okay. Don't argue with me on this, James. I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so basically, what you want to do is have a brand that has all those tactile and smelling and tasting and feeling and all that sort of thing all in one. So your logo needs to be a 3D object that can be taste, touched, handled, and seen with your eyes all at the same time. So then during the webinar, you can pull out your brand, and they can pull out their brand, and you can all feel your brand together. So that's what that is all about. So next one.
Next is keep mobile in mind.
Okay. This is definitely a good thing to pay attention to, because people are going to be on the move while they're watching your webinar.
Right. There was one time where we had a client that was actually ziplining during the webinar.
And that happens a lot, actually.
Yeah. And
a couple bungee jumpers.
If they didn't have the mobile version of the webinar, they wouldn't be able to attend. So that's really important to get those more adventurous types to be able to show up.
Yeah. So you want to check to make sure that that you look good on mobile as well, because it can kind of stretch the face out. And for some people who are a little on the heavy side, that might be a good thing. For some people who aren't, then it might not be a good thing. So got to pay attention to that and do some editing to make sure that your face looks good. Before you do that, next one.
Consider a paid webinar series, which obviously I think all of them should be paid.
Oh,
I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't just consider it, I would do it. So a paid webinar is so much, because like we've talked about, skin in the game. If people don't understand that this webinar is worth so much to me, they're not going to actually take it seriously.
Exactly.
All right, next one.
Don't get help. Do it all yourself.
Okay, that is one of the highlights of webinarism, is to make sure that what you're doing is all you. Because if someone else can take credit for your webinar, you've dropped the ball, and it is in their court, and they're hitting it back over to you, and it's going to slam you in the face.
Yep, you have to be completely independent.
Yeah. Okay, next one. This one, now we're getting into the meat of it. That was all preliminary. This is what really comes down to with your webinar. Actually, I would just go ahead and skip all the other ones. Just get straight to this one.
Yeah, forget everything before this in this lesson.
Okay.
Pick your topic.
Okay.
So.
Boom. So
there's a lot of ways that you can go about this.
In the conferencing episode, we talked about niching down. You definitely want to do that. You got to do that with your webinars too. So you can't just have a random webinar about, social media or something. That's boring. Nobody's going to pay attention.
Nobody's gonna care.
It's so general that it's just ridiculous. So what you got to do is niche down to something really specific, really, just dynamite that people are going to sink their teeth into.
Like how to make money off of your Lamborghini on Instagram.
Yes.
Something like that is very, very spicy.
Something like that, yes. Okay, and that appeals to a very broad audience of Lamborghini owners. So something you also might do is just check your emails. Which, as an entrepreneur, following the wonderful Tim Ferriss there, good old Timmy, as I like to call him, he don't check your emails very often. But when you do, look for questions that you can integrate into a webinar. That'd be a great way to do it. So yeah, once you get that topic, it needs to be something, and this is why this course is built the way it is, because lesson 7 here comes after we've already done a masterclass on clickbait. So now you know exactly what how to write your topic, how to write your title, is because you've already gotten the masterclass of clickbait.
And to draw in as many people as possible.
Exactly. All right, next one.
Next is to find a great speaker, which if you can't do it yourself, you're kind of behind.
Yeah, and we were gonna have that be one of the modules of how to become a great speaker. But I really think it's one of those things you don't learn, you just do.
You're kind of bored with it.
Yeah, it can't be learned. So if you're not, then I am available. My price is pretty high, but it's worth it because I will convert like crazy. Okay, they call me the converting king. Okay, there's a reason for that. Okay, next one.
The next one is do a dry run.
Okay.
And that's opposed to a wet run, which is where lots of alcohol is served. So the thing is, people are going to be more impressionable when they're full of alcohol. So if you do a dry run, it's going to be more challenging, but that'll prepare you so that you're over prepared for the wet run.
Yeah, and over preparing is key. The whole metaphor of the dry run versus wet run has to do with the alcohol, but it also has to do with when, like, tires, as you're racing. I know a lot about that because I'm a very good racer, car driver. And when I'm going around corners, if it's a dry run, like, my tires get hot, and you don't want that. Okay, you want the wetness to cool them down, so it just makes the turn so much better. Okay, there you go. Next one.
Next one. Choose the right webinar platform.
This is so important. I've had my VAs do this, so I don't...
Yeah, that's kind of...
Yeah.
Have someone else do that.
Yeah, I don't even know what the different options are, I guess. I think
FaceTime.
the internet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so, boom. Next one.
Next one, eliminate any potential sources of...
Okay, if you are not going out and building your own sticky webinar right now, you are crazy. You are absolutely crazy, and you are throwing money down the drain and in the trash, okay? The money's going through the drain into the sewer system and then just spilling over into the trash bin of life. So that is your fault if you aren't building a sticky webinar that's actually converting into millions of dollars worth of sales like I've done over and over and over. So yeah, but you may be saying, Brad, I can't build a sticky webinar because I don't have all the information because I only got to hear a sneak preview of the episode where you told people how to do the sticky webinar. And to that, I would say there's a simple solution. Just go get the course, people. It's a video course. It's hours of awesome content from yours truly. So if you enjoy the podcast, you're going to enjoy the course. And if you purchase the course, then you're going to help keep us on the air because the Brad Johnson Show, it is a labor of love. I am so rich that it really doesn't matter. But for the podcast to continue, I've got to know that it's, bringing on its own source of revenue. And that is the best way for me to see that you care about me staying on the air, which I know you do, because why would you not? Because it's me talking to you through your headset of your earbuds, of your ear things in your ears. So thanks, guys, for listening. Remember to share the podcast with somebody that you know who could use this information, which I know you know somebody. So go ahead and share it. That's the best way to help the podcast grow. And that's what we're all about, is growing, because, there's nothing better than something that's big and making it bigger. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll talk to you next time.
You've just listened to an episode of Awesomeness. Now, go out and spread the awesomeness and help others fix the mess that is their life and help them stop being a loser and start winning in business, health, and their personal life by getting them to listen to The Brad Johnson Show. Book your face, tweet your tweets, and Insta your grams at Brad Johnson Show. The Brad Johnson Show. Winners only.
When I was in school, I absolutely hated writing. It wasn't until I was a bit older that I came to understand the power of words. If you're a business owner, you understand that power too. A business blog, when done right, can drive sales, increase revenue, and get you more customers. But as a business owner, you probably don't have the time to do all that writing. Plus, if you're not a copywriter by trade, you might feel like you're just kind of throwing words out there and they're not actually accomplishing anything. The good news is, there's a simple solution. Check it out. I call it the ultimate blog post checklist for businesses with online stores. This checklist will allow you to write better, more effective articles that convert readers into buyers. It's full of easy to follow examples to get your creativity flowing based on experience of nearly 1 million words written, and best of all, it's effective on any type of article in any industry or niche. I've successfully used this exact checklist on topics from pool table reviews to investment advice. Tired of spending tons of time writing stuff that doesn't convert? This checklist will change that by giving you highly effective blog posts and articles that transform readers into paying customers. Go to invicta.enterprises/free checklist and start saving time and transforming your writing now. That's invicta.enterprises/free checklist.